Oh, perfect. Okay. Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. I'm just getting things pulled up here with the market and the futures, and yeah, when the future markets went live, it popped over $2 and then $3. It's been hovering around just a little over $2. Looking at the Kiko prices right now, silver is holding still in the green, up 243 at 81.82, up 3%. Let's get over here. I'm going to put some poll questions in. Yeah, we're going to get a poll question up. I'm wondering, has anyone been to their local coin shops yet? I'm hearing all sorts of stories of big bars being sold out and kilo bars being sold out, even the 100-ounce bars. Let's see here. Let's get a poll question up here. Actually, I got some notes. I went and was able to. The first two coin shops we normally go to weren't open. Yeah, I was just about to talk about that. I was able to get to one that was open, and we had 20 minutes before they closed at 5. And I had just under $300 cash, and I got 3 Britannias and 5 dimes. 5 90% dimes. All right, here's our first poll question. Let me get this set up. Oh, got it. Yeah, have you guys went to any local coin shops yesterday? And if you did, what did you see? Because right now, everything's in the green for future markets. Will come as close contracts and cash. All right, so I was able to. Hey, Amy, how are you? Have you been stacking for a while? And if you have, do you buy bullion? Do you buy coins? I'm trying to get an idea of how long people have been stacking for. And let's see here. So yeah, as before the markets open, the gold to silver ratio was at 57. And let me just check it right now. I saw it go as low as 54 not long after the open. I'm going to go to SE Bullion, check out spot prices, go down to the gold and silver ratio. Yeah, as of right now, 55, 53. 55 and a half for the GSR right now holding. Nice. I got to tell you, I played the ratio back in April. And the funny thing is, you kind of speculate and try to plan out when you want to get back into gold. And right now, I have no idea. It's crazy because I never played it before, saw that it was over 100. I think it was 104 at the time when I got in. Just took out 4/10 for 34 eagles. And if the GSR were to drop to 34, I could swap those. Theoretically, there's always going to be a premium when you swap back in. But I could take those 34 eagles, get my 4/10 back, and get a 6/10 in essentially free gold for just hanging out. Let's see here. Yeah, there's a lot to get into. From Friday, I've never seen the market move like that before on Friday. I've never seen it. You gotta have these speculation ideas of what would happen if, and you kind of wait for these moments, but when they do show up, you're kind of stunned. I was beside myself. I saw it go over 10%. And then you kind of wonder what Monday's going to bring. Is it going to fall because people are selling, taking profits, or are people going to get in because of FOMO? And over the weekend, I'm hearing stories of people running out of bars, running out of junk, buying things behind spot just because how fast things rose. And yeah, I'm just curious what you guys were seeing and hearing. Yeah, because the thing, if Comex doesn't have enough silver, they're going to have to settle in cash because no one ever reads the fine print in contracts. Make your metal, make more metal. Yeah, exactly. Be patient. That's what I did. I've never seen the ratio over 100 before back in April. Got in, and the only reason why I remember it was April is because my local coin guy, bless you, um, people are going in there to sell metals to pay their tax bills. So I quickly handed him the 2/10, and I came back the next day and just handed him another two. And each tube had, together it was 34. I think it was like 17 eagles in each tube. So now the question is, when do you go back in? When do you swap? So I'm warning, did you guys, hey, how are you? Hey, so when are you guys going to go back into, did you do play the ratio? And if you did, when do you plan on going back into gold? Like, what's the number that you're waiting for? And here's something very interesting. Do you guys ever check out US Debt Clock? They have a lot of great information on there. It's just something good to gauge and watch. Like, here's on page 8. And it has a Tin Man in the back. Money creation is a scam only a wizard could love. And a man holding a sign will work for not food, not fiat currency, but gold, but I prefer silver. And again, this information is dated, but an ounce of silver for a day's labor during a 100-year period from 1773 to 1873, one single ounce of silver paid for the average laborer's daily wage. Today, this is old. It would take 10 ounces of silver for a day's wage, but now it's dropped so quickly this year. We started the year off at 29 and change per ounce of silver, and now we're knocking on over. Let me just check again. Gold to silver ratio is 55.58, and the Kitco numbers are saying 81.08. So we're still in the green. I'd be curious how long if that does last. But you got to think long game. We were a bimetal nation, gold and silver. Got away from it, the Coinage Act, and then officially in 1900. And then the Fed came in 1913, along with the IRS, and then you have this money printing. Got off the gold standard in 1933 from Roosevelt, and officially with Nixon. And I think between now and then, people are realizing, and more so now recently, I don't know if you guys have picked up on that. I definitely noticed it more from last summer to now. The uptick in people buying into metal, especially online, I can see it with the numbers. Local coin shops, so many new people coming in and shopping. Here, the Roman era, 15-1, how everything drops in silver content. Started off strong and then it just dwindled. Same thing here. Had 90% and it drops to clad. But again, everything's cyclical, as you can clearly see. This, again, if you learn from history, everything's cyclical. Absolutely. And actually, let me grab a book. I know I talked about this last year, Because when I read it, I plowed through it so quickly. And I've been mentioning this more so to a lot of people recently when it comes to cycles and why we're at, and so many new people flooding into metals. This is the book, The Great Depression, a Diary by Benjamin Roth. He was a lawyer out in Ohio, and he actually documented everything that happened during the Great Depression, what he saw, what he witnessed, the sales of businesses, what the government did, all the programs he initiated, and so on. It's a fast read once you get in it, and then you want to read it again and then highlight things that are happening today when it comes to inflation, money printing, prices of metals, and what governments and countries are doing now. I mean, look at what countries are doing right now when it comes to India buying silver, Russia last year getting in on it, and Poland. I think Poland's like one of the biggest gold holders right now and going, which is impressive. So anytime you look at what big people and players are doing, you kind of want to do the same thing just for your own protection. Again, not financial advice, just something to think about when it comes to hedging. And looking online, looking at notes, there was an article I read that shared, as to future demand by U.S. citizens for gold, most dealers did not foresee demand for physical holding as significant, with the exception of the initial surge during the first 2 or 3 months this year. Following the deregulation, they did not feel that the U.S. citizens on the whole were really psychologically prepared to switch from small-scale gold coin purchases to large-scale, which it's in droves, and it's only grown so much. And I love how they use the term long-term bullion hoarding. That was something that was also mentioned in this book as well. Roosevelt didn't want people making a run on the banks and hoarding. Hi, how are you? I think the GSR will be 51 by the end of January. Well, let me check it now. Over on SE Bullion. As of right now, let me just hit refresh. It's before the market opened up, I actually took note of it. It was 57. Right now it's holding at 55. The bullion banks are desperate. And you can see that with the contracts. In fact, if you go to X at Just Dario on X posted yesterday, I am personally surprised that COMEX announced margins on silver futures will go up on Monday, since such a move hurts those who are short significantly more. Hey, how are you? Compared to those who are long and holding deeply profitable positions, as it is the case right now. And for your information, the last time CME hiked margins 10% was on the 12th of this month, when silver traded at $64, and they just hiked it up. They just changed it again. So they made those two changes in the last 3 weeks. Furthermore, it isn't leverage and future speculation driving silver prices higher this time, but demand for physical silver in unprecedented supply. Constrained environment, mostly from AI manufacturers, and futures have no alternative but to follow spot price. Absolutely. So the CME is trying to protect itself again, the risk of being on the hook to cover the losses if a large single short seller blows up, similar to GameStop. Remember GameStop 5 years ago? Same thing, but this is just massive with these numbers. All right, let's close the poll. I'm doing good. I hope you guys are doing well. And let me know if you guys did any shopping for metals this weekend. Because the shop that we went into that we haven't been into a while, because he was the only one open, they looked busy. They looked tired. Like there was just like a flurry of activity behind the counter. I mean, I think his wife was there helping out. Never saw her before. Let's see here. Yeah, it's still holding, still in the green. Okie dokie. Oh yeah, when the CME announced that hike in margins, the market was still open, trading on Friday. So in that moment, silver prices jumped up, adding to the closer, making it go higher before closing. So this explains a lot of that 10% jump on Friday. I again never saw anything like this before. So many people are online saying, "Are you seeing this?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm seeing it, but Let's try to wrap my head around it. All right, let's see. I actually have some questions for you guys. Have you experienced any shortages at your local coin shops? All right, let's see here. Let's see what happens when China begins to limit exports on the 1st. Actually, that's one of my questions. You know what? Let me put that in here. Let me close this. So will Comas close contracts and in cash 6% yes. Yeah, that's one of mine. All right, let's see. Will Trump ban exports of silver in 26? That's my question. Because as of right now, China, it's not all exports, it's just a big chunk. You have to have export licensing, it's gonna be a lot more regulations, and they really want to keep a lot of what they have. And I totally get that. I totally understand that. But I'm just curious if he's gonna do a whole tit for tat thing, if that's gonna happen here. Just to protect us and see what happens. These are something my husband got. I love Libertads, and these are 3-gram Libertads. Here's the business strike. Almost have to having declared a strategic metal. Yeah, that was something that got my attention. Here's a reverse proof. I love Libertads. He knows it. I didn't see these. He actually bought these online at an auction. And I think there's only 3,000 of these. So yeah, not just bullion, but kookaburras, Libertads. I like those a lot. I'm still waiting to get to 25. That's the one I'm actually waiting for next year. I was hoping that they would add more, but I'm just bent that I have to spend what's looking like $1,200 for a modern coin just to keep my album complete. I just finished it this year. Let me know if you guys have any albums. Do you guys have any albums for eagles, maples? I have an album for the kookaburras. Those are beautiful. They have a new design every year, limited to 500,000. And last September to February of this year, I started and completed the Libertad collection. Oh, let's see here. It's a 4-coin set, BU, proof, reverse proof, and antique. That's it. Yeah, so I got these two. I love the Libertad. They're just very pretty. Big fan of those. So I got those. I got all of the prospectors. Where's the 84th? That's like the low vintage year. So again, stacking is a lot of fun. It's not just bullion. Depends on what your plan is. I got into this, God, back in 2012. When we started our family, had a lot of questions, and that's when I learned about prepping and being prepared because we had Hurricane Storm Sandy come up the coast, and we saw people dumpster diving for food over in New York. And of course, that puts the question in your ear. I don't want that to happen to us, so let's be prepared. And then, it's like any, string. You pull it, and then you have more questions. Here's a cool one. The Pony Express. So again, it's all about the journey. And with stacking, same thing. It depends what your plan is. This is most certainly long term. And you can absolutely make it work for you. In fact, I remember starting off with lots of rounds. Lots and lots of rounds at $14 an ounce. And then when I went to 28, I saw a lot of people that I followed on YouTube talking about the harvest rate and how they made all these improvements and customer service got better. So I actually traded in some silver for a harvest rate freeze dryer back in 23 and just keep stacking. And then you can change to getting pretty pieces like this from the Germanian mint. There's some beautiful mints out there that just do phenomenal work in the detail. You can have a lot of fun with this. A lot of people have plans where they stack nothing but bullion. And I totally respect that. But as long as you're stacking metal, gold, silver, not big into platinum really. I love this one. Honest value never fails. We need to get back to this. And you know what? A lot of states are. If you follow the Sound Money group, they're actually helping to work on legislation for states, make legal, even though it's under constitution for the states, to legally recognize gold and silver as money, real money. I love that one. That's a great one. I think it's 23 or 20 states, 26 states now that have enacted that. Here's a cute one. Again, you can have a lot of fun with these coins, rounds, and so on. But just online auctions, it's changed so much just because of the price skyrocketing so fast. All right, let's check out the poll. Antique to be released this week. Cool. Use your tools to verify coins, scales, pocket painter, etc. LCS has a Sigma Pro. You know what's funny? I just helped my daughter get organized because the Tooth Fairy's been helping her out. And I actually thought that we had a fake coin because the diameter was the same as a 1 ounce, but it was like half the size. So I thought it was fake. In the fine print, it was actually half an ounce. So again, pocket ping them, check them. Don't organize late into the night. Will Trump ban export silver next year? Oh, I changed. Yeah, I fudged the year. Sorry, guys. 75% said yes. 25% said no. That's a good question. Someone asked that earlier. And it got me thinking. I wanted to ask you guys what you would think happened. You know what? I think knowing him and how he operates, he might do a tit for tat with China. I'm actually going to say yes. I would say yes. And I think I do have, I think that's all the questions I actually have. Have you guys done any shopping this week? Have you done any shopping and what have you seen? Because again, I'm hearing all sorts of stories online. From long lines out certain stores, some stores just being closed for the holiday. I can only imagine what they're to come back to. You can you imagine being closed while all this run up is happening. We're actually thinking about visiting the Canadian Mint next year. Let me know if you guys have ever been to a mint in the country, outside of the country. I think that'd be fun. I love collecting animal-related coins. Oh, yeah. The Kookaburras. I'm actually current with this album. They put out some beautiful coins every year. It just gets better and better compared from the old Kookaburras. We had the dots all along the rim, and now they just got big with the font. It's beautiful. They do a beautiful job. And then even with the Canadian Maples, they had that time with the privies. They got the 4-leaf clover privy, the monkey privy. I wanted to get the tank privy, and now that prices have gone up so quickly, eventually I will. Here's the wombat. If you're curious, there's a fun fact about the wombats. Look up what their defense mechanism is. It's unique. But yeah, they have some beautiful, beautiful animal options out there for coins. Like the South Korean Mint has some beautiful pieces. They just do nothing but beautiful. Here's an old school Disney piece. 50th anniversary. With Grumpy on there. So yeah, LCS is busy, swamped. The one that we did go to yesterday was busy. I mean, the whole family was working behind the counters. Um, did not see a lot of 90%. They did have some dimes, which is good to have because normally what I've been doing lately is I'll go in and instead of keeping the change, I'll ask, how many dimes can I get with my change? So now my change is 90%. All right, we talked about this, the history, and the whole history of paper money versus coinage. You know, let me ask you a question. Are you happy with paper currency or would you want to go back to real money, coins, using gold and silver in day to day transactions? But have a nice combination. Have deposit gold and silver at the bank and still use your debit cards and credit cards, but in a way where it's actually backed by metal. I would love to see that beautiful combination. Actually working with gold and silver at the bank and still having it in your pocket. Hey Genesis, how are you? Yeah, would you want to transact using gold and silver? I gotta tell you, I've been doing that more so, I want to say New Hampshire. And what's cool is there are contractors not only accepting crypto for payment, but metal now. And I am here for that. And I'm wondering, have you guys seen that where you're at? Have you guys heard of anyone saying, yes, I'll take gold. Yes, I'll take silver. Our mechanic, well, actually said yes. So we asked him this, I want to say about a month ago. And he said, yeah, actually, I had a lady do this a while ago. So we're not the only ones actually asking this. And he said, yeah, we'll take gold and silver for sure for payment. So you know what? Maybe just all it takes is to say ask. Oh, the page before. Yeah, hold on. With the paper money or the other side? This is on usdebtclock.org. I would absolutely love to see us get back to, on a more wide scale, gold and silver. I think we bought, oh yeah, goldbacks. I started getting in on those in 22. We actually drove up to New Hampshire. We bought, the first time we used them, I bought us lunch. And then started going to other stores that took like over 200 businesses just in that state alone. And if you go to goldback.com, you can look at the entire map of the US and see how many businesses take those. So yeah, absolutely. People are definitely waking up to getting back to the basics. Again, I really believe that everything is cyclical, and I think people are being prepared. People actually growing their own food, shopping local, farmers markets, buying local honey. Um, we just took in a quarter cow, and the meat's phenomenal. I mean, the ground beef comes in packs of 1.5 pounds, and it's delicious. It's local, it's fresh. You're supporting the local economy. You're helping out local farmers, which need us now more than ever. So physical money, dirty people. Let's see. Physical money is dirty. People would much rather pay with their phone, credit card, debit cards. Most people can't wait to go cashless, but they don't realize the implications of the purchase being tracked. Exactly. And not just that, but the tokenization. Now tokenization is being talked about more. And what think about the implications if you can digitize everything, your home, your cars, your assets, and pay for with percentages of it. And how wildly out of control that could be, just like credit cards. People just swipe it thinking it's so convenient. What if you start using that and then one day you don't have access to your home anymore or possession of it because you spent more than 50% and they come to collect? So yeah, it's good to hedge your bets. It's good to spread out your options and just even have options. Gold, silver offer that. This is again, we're talking about thousands of years people have utilized gold and silver. Open market, black market, you name it. This is nothing new. This has been a, tale as old as time. Utilizing something that's been pulled out of the ground forever. So it's good to just hedge your bets, have options. 90% dimes, quarters. Go through your old change. Go through, sometimes they are on the wild if you check. Look at the rims, make sure that they're silver. There's so many channels with information out there to help people out, not just with stacking, but just overall getting prepared for what's coming. Keep your eyes open with the markets and everything. Have options. Again, freeze dryer. I love the harvest right. If you want to do that on your own, absolutely. And you can actually be in charge of what it is you're putting away. We've put so many meals through that thing. It's amazing. I can't say enough great things about it. Customer service is phenomenal. It's a great investment that'll pay off in no time. I'm trying to think. What did we cover last time? Water. Well pumps. If you have your own well, check out Bison Well Pump. That's what we bought years ago. And we put it together ourselves and it works great. So if you need water, you're great. You're covered. Your health, that's another great investment. You talk about this. Yeah, silver's great. But you got to take care of your health. So if you need any medications, talk to your doctor about loading up, front loading with those. Food, water security, staying warm. Talk about the hypotheticals. And just like silver, I would definitely say fractional. Stuff like this right here, $50, so you don't have to spend a whole round or a coin on something and overpay. Tenths, even small as grams for smaller purchase. And again, the way that metal's going up right now. Let's check the ratio. Let's see. Let's check the spot price on Kitco. Wow. Okay, hold on. Let me just hit refresh. Yeah, it's dropping now. It's down a little bit. It's down 368, down 4.64%. It's 75.71. So far with a high of 83.93. So here's a funny thing. Whenever we look at the markets, I'll jokingly say to my husband, if it's up, fantastic, great. If it's down, that just means you could buy a little bit more. So if it's dipping like this and you've been waiting for a dip or an opportunity, oh crap, now it's starting to go back up. It's 76.46 right now. You know what? Just think of it like a buying opportunity. If you could buy a little more, buy a little more. If you can just get a little more change with the 90%, grab that. Here, you know what? Let me ask this question for you guys. I'm curious. Did you buy metals this weekend? I'll be curious. I most certainly did. Yes, I did take advantage. Even if the market goes down just a little bit, it's okay because it's dollar cost averaging. This is for the long term. I'm not selling anytime soon. Not at all. If the GSR does drop some more, at some point I would be curious to get back into gold with the kind of flip, putting some gold into silver and having that silver go back into gold, and then having some extra on the side. So I'd be curious. Other than that, no, this is absolutely long haul. My wife did, I did not. Again, a little here, a little there, all adds up. Again, think about when you first bought and where it's at now. I like that one. Again, these are fun. I'm just waiting for two more of those. This one from Bunker Bullion. I believe I got this early this year or late last year. I'm trying to remember, but I love this. This is so good. The Washington praying in the woods. Do you guys know the story behind this one? The story goes that George Washington went into the woods to pray, and a British soldier followed him into the woods, thinking like, "Here's my chance. I'm gonna, go after the general." stops in his tracks when he sees him kneeling and praying. And there's a beautiful painting that captured that moment. If you can find this one online, it's a beautiful piece. There's some talented people out there when they're creating in these mints. They're beautiful. Here's your proof 120th Libertad. These are just fun. They're pretty. Especially the Libertads. They will definitely hold their premium over time. Yeah, I'm just happy that so many more people are getting into metals and learning and asking questions and following the market, and not just following the market, but paying attention to what other countries are doing, paying attention to the dollar and actually realizing where quote money comes from, and doing their history and asking great questions like check out US debt clock. Have a plan, take care of yourself, and just have options in case anything were to happen. I'm telling you, read this book. It's a fast read. It's almost like Back to the Future when Biff had that playbook and he was making all those bets because everything's cyclical. People really don't learn from the past. How many times have we seen people panic buy at the high when Bitcoin was surging? Everyone was getting in was 20,000, and then everyone was getting in was like 50 and 60,000 and so on. They always get in high, it drops a little bit, and then they sell instead of just being patient and just holding and just waiting. Same thing happened during the Great Depression with the stock market. Same thing happened in the 80s, .com, and even right now. People are getting in on metals at all-time highs instead of just learning from the history and hedging your bets. Oh, here's a pretty one from 1985. Oh, here's a cute one. So nice toning on top from 1999. Oh, those are the dots I was talking about. If you look around the rim, you can see the difference between this Kookaburra font and this one. Beautiful. Perth Mint, absolutely beautiful pieces. Have you seen the Commander Series Washington? Let me see. Have I seen the Commander Series? George Washington. You mean this one? Yes, I did. Yes, I most certainly did. From SE Bullion? Yes. Yep. Beautiful job. They absolutely, even with the Liberty Bell Privy, yeah, they nailed it. Beautiful piece. Highly recommend. The Connecticut Privy Kookaburra. Yes, absolutely. Yes, we have that one. I think it's 2 ounce. Yeah. PCGS. Absolutely. Yes. That's a beautiful one. Yeah, they only did the first 5 states, and after that, they didn't continue, which was really odd. You were kind of hoping to see them do the rest of the states. Yes, I did. But yeah, again, when it comes to buying at local coin shops, support them, ask them questions. They'll be more than happy to help you out answering questions, testing coins. A good one will help you test coins, verify what you have, and even help you get started. There's a lot of new people getting in on this, and they're all asking, how do I get started? Where do I, buy? What do I buy? Me personally, not financial advice, but how I got started was silver buffaloes. Buy a lot of weight, get in on that. And then over time, write out a plan. Why are you stacking? What are your plans with that down the road? Let's see here. Yeah, that's like the best way to do it. And then think about the basics. If there's a power outage, um, banking holiday, for example, do you have cash on hand? Do you have extra food on hand? Do you have skills? Just these things that you can constantly improve on and build upon over time. Yeah, again, invest in yourself, your health, your wealth, everything, your family. Learn how to fix things, get extra parts in case. Again, we all learn from what everything happened 5 years ago. Premiums going up, shortages and whatnot. But unfortunately, a lot of people have short memories and then they forget a lot of these things that happened. So just be prepared. Ask good questions and keep learning. And just be consistent. I stack a little bit here and there. That's a beautiful piece. I'm telling you, online auctions are wild. I see things I never knew existed. This one I found in an online auction. The boar from Germanian Mint. And it's got the Celtic artwork on the side. A little here and there. It depends on what your plan is and why you want to stack. Some people stack. A lot of people are losing faith in banks. So what they're doing, they're pulling money out and putting it into metal. It could be gold, silver, something. Hedge your bets, spread things out, and do what's right for you. A lot of people follow what other people are doing, but dial it in for you. Think about hypothetical situations, how you want to do things, store things, and make it work. It's most certainly doable. Get your family in on it if you can. Get your friends on. You guys can go to coin shows together, go to coin shops together, shop and compare, see deals, who got where from what. Did you get behind spot, at spot? Price compare together and just work together. So yeah, it again, it's just little by little, and find good channels with good information. Ask some good questions, follow what's going on, compare notes, and then just do what's right for you in a huge nutshell. That's what I've been doing. And again, I love seeing more people getting in on this. It's great, but at the same time, start slow, ask good questions first, come up with a plan, and then just be consistent with it. Buy a little bit here and there each week, do what's right for you, and you'll be well ahead of your average person. If you guys have any questions, want to answer the poll question, did you buy any metals this weekend? Hearing lots of crazy stories about long lines, people selling out of certain pieces. 2 out of the 3 were closed, so we were fortunate to at least get something. I only got 3 Britannias and some dimes, and that was just under $300. That was crazy. But it shows you how fast the markets can move. In fact, let me just check it one more time. See how things are shaking out. And don't be discouraged if anything goes down a little bit. That's perfectly normal and healthy because, again, I personally have never seen the market move that fast, that high in one day, at least for silver. That was a 10% move. I've never seen that before. And it moved, what, almost $10 in a week in 5 days? It didn't even last, I think, 5 or 6 days from 70 to 79 and change. And right now it's still doing really well, 77.17 right now. And the ratio, again, just be patient. Silver is 76.89 on Kitco. Yeah, again, it's going to fluctuate, but still the GSR is still under 60. Here's the thing. It rose $10 just last week. And we saw it touch over $80 in the opening of the futures markets. This is a long-term game. This is not something where it's not day trading. It should not be used as day trading at all. Not at all. This is just a nice option to store some wealth, something just on the side. And then be patient. You can look at it, you can enjoy it, you can actually hold it, and it still maintains its value. Some of them are historical. Some of them are vintage pieces. It's a beautiful one. And then you just wait, and then You know, it'd be great. Nothing happens, and you can pass it on to your kids, and they can hold on to it and then use it for future investments if they so choose. Ultimately, that's the plan. Just you want to, if you're not liking the banks, you're not comfortable with the dollar devaluation, the spending, value going down, and not just us here, but all around the world where there's central banks and there's dollars just being printed into oblivion, inflation going high. This is just a nice little safe avenue, depending on how you want to scale it. So right now, yeah, it's 77.50. That's still very healthy, all things considered. We started the year at just under $30 with silver. And here we are, $77.50. And this isn't even with the market opening up here in America yet. Keep asking questions, keep learning, keep diversifying, keep stacking, definitely for sure. Just dollar cost average. If it's down a little bit, that means you can buy a little bit more. If it's up, congratulations, you're doing well. If you guys have any questions, drop them down below. Let's see here. I'm going to close this poll out. And pull. Yeah, let me know what you guys are looking at, what your plans are. If you have any ideas, share them down below because there's a lot of new people getting in on stacking. Help out one another, give them some advice if you've been doing this for a long time. People always appreciate that. Yeah, but definitely read. I would definitely start with, if you're new and you have an idea of cycles, Great Depression, a Diary by Benjamin Roth. Fast read, a good read. And then just be consistent. So, set a budget each week. So a lot of people are doing that. And then just be consistent. Make it a goal. Start with a fractional ounce of gold or a certain amount of ounces in silver, or even fractional. You can do tenths, grams, you can go as small as grams, but again, the premium always goes higher the smaller the denomination. But I personally like the 1 ounce silver coins and rounds. Coins being denominated by a country, and rounds are just private mints. You'll always do very well with those. Again, if you have any questions or ideas, drop them down below in the comments section. And if you have any ideas for next week, let me know. We'll discuss that as well. I like that. All right, so you guys be safe and well.